BltzZ is at the end of the map trailer, guys. BltzZ is actually being shown here at the new Central Park map trailer at the very end. And not only that, we could also see in Squirrel Girl's bedroom a game board piece of herself, Doctor Strange, BltzZ from a side profile right here. And then, of course, if you zoom in on the box, you can see a close-up, kind of like a frontal look of what BltzZ is going to look like right here. Although I will say his outfit right here, as far as the board piece goes, has a red trim around the coat, whereas on here it's a yellow trim. And of course Dracula's on there too. Tons of Easter eggs, man. We can also see Dracula roaming around and affecting various things across the map. I wonder how this is actually going to be playing out. Obviously it is the main part of the season 1 focus, Dracula versus the Fantastic Four and everybody else. We also have a very detailed patch notes video that's going to be dropping later for you guys today. And not only that, we also have 2 trailers for the rest of the season 1 characters. Now all I have left to wonder is whether BltzZ is going to be playable randomly at the end of the season, or is he going to be joining the roster? How is he going to be joining the roster too? This is all just the beginning of Marvel Rivals' first season, so however this one plays out will let us know what we can expect, at least when it comes to the future. So first things first, guys, here's the thing. We finally have a new Vanguard added to the game, and he's looking chaotic and beefy with some decent mobility tied to his abilities, CC immunity and health. Guys, what more do we want from our tanks? Thor mains, I gotta say, we're probably gonna be enjoying things Kit a lot, just saying. He's constantly punch walking down enemies, and not only that, his right click is a beefy charge punch, which deletes Hawkeye in this clip. Not only that, it gives him an armor shield to help with survivability, similar to Thor's abilities, also giving him some shield health back on using certain actions. But in a later clip, we see a great part about this move. It only has about a 3-second cooldown. The wind-up animation isn't too long to get it off, but we can see that in team fights is going to be able to at least last hit delete players that are in your face. I don't know damage wise what his kit is going to be like. We're gonna have to see that when we finally get our hands on him and see people playing as him later. Now let's talk about mobility. His left shift sprint is a 5-second sprint where it appears to be cancelable, and depending on where you end the animation, he'll slam down and create an AoE splash to hit enemies and destroy obstacles. Perfect for breaking bridges, which is incredibly situational depending on the map, but we can see that happening in this clip. Not only that, he also gains 200 more health, totaling out to 900 HP to help him out with survivability, and is apparently CC immune, because if you look at his health bar, he has a gold rim around it. That's exactly what that means. Really amazing sequence of buffs for 5 seconds, if you ask me, because right after it's done, it has about a 10-second cooldown. So depending on the team fight you're getting yourself into, and your teammates, of course, trying to heal you up, you might be able to use this quite often in certain encounters. But of course, right after that, he does charge up the right-click punch to make quick work of Spidey and Black Panther. RIP. We also see in later clips you could sprint and run into an enemy and it'll pop them up above you, providing CC to help out your teammates, with it disrupting their attacks and making them vulnerable. He proceeds to then slam them down again after it ends. I can't tell from this clip, but I do hope it gives them a slow effect on enemies, making it easier for people to keep up with them and take them out. Now, actually, this is some pretty fun stuff. Things E is a 2-charge ability that shows him jumping directly to a teammate from a really great distance too. He jumps to the Jeff the Landshark right here, and if you combine this with his sprint, CC immunity abilities, and on top of that, a teammate jump, I'm telling you, this is going to be my new main. I can't tell if he's giving the Jeff here a shield or some sort of protection, but it does seem to provide rocks around the thing, which helps him heal over time as they disappear, I noticed, making it super good at helping out teammates regardless of position, giving them some survivability. But also in this very next clip, we see a different form of interaction. Yes, the Wolverine team up is probably the least utilized one in the game, but I think it has more utility with Thing than Hulk, because both Thing and Wolverine can use this to close the gap on enemies. After tossing Wolverine, we see him using the E to quickly get to Wolverine again, and then sprint to pop enemies upwards, giving himself a shield, 200 HP and CC immunity, and then last hitting the Hela with the right click. A great sequence. I mean, I do get a lot of Wolverines on my team. Don't really see anybody utilize as much anymore, but at least this team up gets a second form of life with the Thing releasing. Now, this final clip, we see the Thing using every single ability in order to combo to do his ultimate. He uses the E to team up with Doctor Strange, and then from there primes up a sprint to pop 2 enemies up, running into them and then slamming them down. And then the ultimate goes off, and basically it's a Hercules ultimate, sort of, kind of from Smite, where Thing will slam down his fist and enemies within its path gets popped up slowly as well, and they're stunned during this animation. It gives you and your teammates an open window to damage them using the right click to wind up, giving him an extra shield, more HP to survive, of course, and then last hit whoever may still be standing. Things damage does seem pretty balanced for the most part. The ultimate's main thing is the stun and knock-up, of course. And his damage on Hela with his ult seems to be a little over a third if you look at that HP bar right there. But I think this is obviously to balance him out a little bit more because he does have decent mobility, shielding, some self-heals, as well as pretty good CC on 2 moves from the sprint and the ultimate. So we find ourselves in a situation where you also can't give him too much crazy damage, but we're gonna see how that actually has to work out in an actual match. Teammates are still gonna have to be around you to help secure those kills, but of course the character's full showcase with the creators later today will be dropping, so we'll be able to see what Thing and Human Torch function like in an actual batch. Speaking of Johnny, we also got his trailer today too, and he has some really interesting elements to his kit that might make me actually play a flying character in this game. A new duelist to the game, his projectiles do have 6 ammo in a clip, but it does seem to replenish slowly over time. You can see the numbers going back up after using an attack, maybe making reloading with him less of a thing to actually have to focus on. But not only that, it's the size of the projectiles that really stand out to me. For some reason, they seem to be bigger in this clip and easier to land. Could just be me watching from the outside looking in. Actually playing as him will make us feel differently. He also has 6 flame charges underneath his reticle that deplete after some shots, and it's possibly what is actually regenerating his ammo. If you look at the clip here, you'll see it goes down to 3, then back up to 4, then quickly to 3 again. Probably promoting that you want to stay on offense and landing your shots, because it'll continue to give you even more offense and overall damage, of course. My favorite move in this kit, though, first of all, is him setting the ground to the fire, causing damage to those around the area, and then doing all this with his right click, which has 3 charges and doesn't use any ammo or any flame charges. It also regens pretty quickly. But his F, it's actually a 12-second cooldown, but we see a crazy fast ground slam that's going to be frustrating for healers to even deal with, and I can't wait for that, man. It also has some CC. We see in the next clip Loki's grounded shift heal, which usually will keep you to full health as long as you're standing within it. But in this situation, they show an incredibly situational moment where if you're standing on a ledge, you can actually knock them back far enough to take them out and knock them off of stages, basically. Now, this next clip here is actually a form of 2 moves being used to activate an AoE. The right click can lay down fire on the ground, and we see Johnny throw out 4 in a square, and then he presses E to connect them. Which I wonder if because it's Unreal Engine 5, they're going to be taking advantage of the geometry to let us make all kinds of crazy shapes. Or if there is a certain limit of distance that we have to design in order to keep it connected. Also, are we able to exceed 4 charges? I mean, it seems like it regenerates fast enough if you look at the move on the bottom right. I do want to see how creative we can actually make this. Yes, we see a square being formed here, but come on, we could take that even further, right, internet? But seriously, the damage on this combo is pretty outrageous, guys. And if it's set up properly, this could actually secure W's in overtime easily if Johnny's not being targeted, of course. I want to see how this could actually play out, because he didn't even have to use the F there. Imagine a combination with this, with the E, connecting them all, and then if there's anybody still alive, you use the F to slam down and KO them. Damage on this character is going to be crazy. And finally, we have the ultimate, which carries on the game's tradition of having a hella iconic shout to go with it. Johnny going supernova for 7 seconds and throwing down not just 1, but 2 fire tornadoes. The angle is kind of weird here, but if you slow it down on the first image, you can actually see there's 2, with the second one being right behind it. And Storm actually has a team up with her ultimate. By using her ult to go into the flames, she can create a firestorm, literally, and kills the Luna Snow in her ultimate and then deletes the rest of the team. Now, Storm was mentioned to being overtuned a bit and will be receiving some tweaks in the patch notes, so she still will be good, but seeing this as a situational way to team up is going to be pretty exciting, especially now that the devs have targeted to reduce how strong the support meta is. Strategists all around are getting tweaks to their ultimates, and in turn, some of the duelists are having their ultimate cooldowns buffed instead. So it's going to be a wild time to see how this actually affects the game's meta, because there are a lot of teamfight situations where duelists and tanks will get their ultimates around the same time, but it doesn't matter because, well, healers also have their ults, and it's like coming a standstill moment to where you need to have somebody sacrifice and bait out a healer ult and then use the other person's ult to counter it. But if they're running 3 strategists on a team, it runs into a situation where the Luna can use her ult, and then Cloak and Dagger can use their ult, and then Loki can use, you know what I mean? Like, people could just stagger it that way to kind of just counter you to no end. But guys, BltzZ, Thing, Human Torch, and a new map, as well as balance changes. Man, we have a lot of cool stuff coming, you guys. A detailed video for the patch notes will be dropping later if I can get it done quickly enough. But I want to hear from you guys. What are you most excited for? I'm gonna need you to comment down below and let me know if you missed anything you might have seen in this trailer, and let's get a discussion going.
Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Rivals videos are on the way, and I'm going to be playing these characters soon, so you don't want to miss that. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.